Welcome to another episode of the Cat Breeding for Beginners podcast. I'm Pamela and I breed British Shorthairs in Perth, Western Australia. I have a real passion for cat breeding and exhibiting, and I want to share my knowledge and experience with you. I'm on a mission to help new cat breeders go from feeling intimidated, confused and having trouble getting started to confidently breeding happy and healthy cats whilst enjoying this amazing hobby. Before we get started, make sure you visit my website and download your copy of my helpful guide, Advice to New Breeders, where experienced breeders share some great tips they wish someone told them when they started breeding. You can find the link on my homepage at www.catbreedingforbeginners.com. Just look for the picture of Angelica with her kittens. In my new cat breeders club, one of my members was talking to the rest of the group about weaning her kittens, and she was finding it a little bit stressful and a little bit difficult and not really sure what to do next. Now, this was her very first litter of kittens and a really steep learning curve for her, and I was really proud of what she'd been doing, but she was having a few concerns that we all were helping her with. And one of the things was that she was providing the kittens with a lot of food and giving them food and offering them food because she felt that they should be eating solid food. Now, one of the kittens was eating the food. One kitten was already eating solid food, but the rest of them weren't. And it was really causing her a lot of stress because she was wondering what was she doing wrong that meant that the other kittens weren't eating. And one of the things that was coming up as well was that, yes, that one kitten was eating, but also Mum was eating the kitten's food. So Mum was coming in and eating the kitten's food, and she was concerned that maybe the kittens weren't getting the solid food because Mum was finishing it off too quickly and they weren't getting a look in. And that was the thing. She said that one of the little kittens was coming over and feeding at the same time as Mum, but the rest of the kittens weren't. So what you can do in that situation, if you really feel like Mum is being a bit of a guts and Mum's going in there and eating the food for the kittens before the kittens get a chance to eat it, is just pop them back in that whatever you had them in when they were first born. So if you had a cage or if you had a pop-up tent or if you had a room or something, just separate them. Separate them and give the kittens the food first. So give the kittens the food and let the kittens have the first offer of the food and see if they'll come over and eat it. Now, in this situation, that one little kitten, he would have come over and had a little bit of a feed. And maybe his siblings would be like, what's he doing? What's that noise? What's going on? And they would come over and have a look as well. But if they don't come over, don't get too upset and don't get stressed out about it. It's just that they're not ready yet. He might have been weirdly ready early. That actually, I think, was the case in this situation. The rest of them weren't late at eating solid food. He was just really early. I think he gave the rest of them a bad name when they weren't doing anything wrong. But the thing about it was that Mum eating the food is normal too. I actually start my kittens off with the soft. When I do get them to the wet food stage, I mostly just put down Mum's food and put their food down, and then everybody can just eat from the same bowl, and the kittens come over and eat from Mum's bowl with Mum. But if you feel like Mum's getting in there and she's, getting into the food before the kittens get a chance to get it, just pop them back into an area that she can't get to and give them the food and let them have the food first. And then when you come back in, if you can tell that whoever has been eating it has been eating it and whoever hasn't, but no one's eating it, then you can let Mum back in and Mum can jump in or you can take the bowl out and give it to Mum and Mum can finish off that food, because that food is going to be the same food that you should be feeding her anyway. When mums are feeding their kittens, you want to be feeding them a kitten diet. So you want to be giving them, when you would be feeding the kitten's baby cat, Royal Canin baby cat, for example, you want to be feeding Mum on the Royal Canin baby cat because she needs that extra nutrition as well. Because we often call it baby cat, but we forget that the actual real name of it is mother and baby cat. It's for Mum and her babies. So yeah, Mum should be eating really high quality food at that point too. So you can take the kittens and put them separate to Mum, and then you can let them out again afterwards, and you can let Mum in and she can eat the food and finish it off. But really, it always is going to come down to being patient. And just because one kitten's doing something, it doesn't mean that the other kittens should be doing something at the same time. Or just because one litter behaved in a certain way and started eating by a certain age, it doesn't mean that the other litter needs to be doing that as well. Every litter is different. Every kitten is different. They generally will act kind of in the same way, and breeds act differently as well. I think I've said before that like your Oriental type breeds, they will breed. They will start eating a lot earlier than some of your bigger breeds like your British Shorthairs and your Persians and maybe even your Maine Coons. it does come down to breed, it comes down to cat, it comes down to kitten, it comes down to a lot of different things. But it also really, really comes down to patience, and that's all I can say. But just because your kittens aren't eating the solid food when you think that they should be eating the solid food, it is in no way a reflection on you either. As long as you're providing them with good quality food, as long as you're providing them with water, as long as you're providing them, mum's got good quality food as well, then everything will fall into place, I promise. Okay, so big deep breath and just be patient. All right, hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening. Make sure you visit www.catbreedingforbeginners.com where you can find articles, guides, courses and more. Plus, make sure you check out my amazing New Cat Breeders Club. It's a supportive space where new cat breeders can learn, share and help each other. I only take new members a few times a year, so sign up to make sure you don't miss out.